Hello and welcome to the Back Nine Report. Fred Altvater and I checking on the world of golf to bring you the latest news, insights, analysis, interviews, recaps, previews. Hey, we cover anything and everything golf. In other words, if it happened in golf, we have it for you. And right now, we're going to be talking about a very good subject. Hey, should we make, not we, because we cannot do that, but should courses be made easier for the women on the LPGA? Fred, you were reading something from Beth Nichols about this. What is it all about? Should we do it? What was she saying?
Yeah, Beth Ann Nichols, who is a senior writer for Golfweek, penned a really good article a couple of weeks ago. I think back on March 16th, actually. Uh, and she cited a bunch of different people and got a bunch of players' comments and some announcers' comments, some ex-players' comments about how the courses are set up for the ladies. And her contention is that even though the courses are set up at around 66 to 6,800 yards for the ladies of the LPGA Tour, that's still too long. The scores are too high relative to what is happening on the PGA Tour. So just a couple numbers here for you, Carlos. It's been 20 years since Annika fired the first 59 in women's golf. 20 years. That's amazing. She recorded 13 birdies, hit every green, missed only one fairway by 6 inches, needed only 25 putts. And that was it was 6,459 yards, that golf course. And that's about where the ladies should probably play. And plus, in the desert, it was firm and fast, so she was getting a little bit more roll. So it played probably shorter than 6,400 yards. So for the ladies to shoot low scores, they need to be at 62 or 6,300 yards. So they're setting these courses up at 68 and 66 to 6,800. A few more numbers. There have been 52 scores of 60 or better on the PGA Tour, including the 11 rounds of sub 60. There's 11 rounds of 59 and, of course, that 58 from Jim Furyk. By contrast, there have been only six 60s or better on the LPGA. Jessica Korda, of course, shot that 60 at the Diamond Resorts earlier this year in January. That was the first since 2008. We haven't been seeing these low rounds on the LPGA Tour. So the question is, does that hurt their ratings? Would more people watch women's golf if they were shooting lower scores? So to give you an idea, an average golf course on the PGA Tour, par 72, around 7,200 yards. Okay, so if you said, well, we'll give the ladies a break of 40 yards per hole on 18 holes, that's 720 yards. That relates to 6,400, just under 6,500 yards. That's probably about 63 to 65 if they want to shoot lower scores, because you've still got a lot of these women, the LPGA players, that on long par fours are hitting a hybrid into the greens. I don't know if you pay attention to that, but the Lexis of the world, they can hit 7 irons in, okay, on a longer par four. But everybody else, they're back there hitting a hybrid or something. So that, on the PGA Tour, a long hitter's hitting a wedge in on a long par four, and the shorter players are still hitting an 8 iron or a 9 iron. So that's the difference. And Stacey Lewis made a really good point in this article. She said, when we played the U.S. Opens, remember at Pioneers, they played in 2014, they played the U.S. Opens back to back. They played the men's one week, and the next week they played the women's. And they took great care in setting up the course so that the ladies were hitting the same irons into the green that the men's were hitting. And so for the women, they actually played the course 1,137 yards shorter than what they had it set up for the men. They played it at 6,253 yards. That's what I'm saying. It should be around 6,300 to 6,500 max, somewhere in there. And for the week, the proof's in the pudding here. For the week, the women made 931 birdies. The men made 959. So that shows you that that's what it takes. So her point is, in all of this, that if the women could play shorter golf courses. Make more birdies. Even some of the medium long hitters would be hitting irons in the greens instead of hybrids, would make more birdies. It would make it more exciting. More people would watch.
Now, here's the thing. I mean, because this is also kind of a let's shorten the ball, right? This and hear me out, because yes, I understand. I mean, I somewhere I read that the average women golfer hits her tee shot about 140 yards, and the average male golfer hits it 210 yards. Right. Of course, we're not talking about the PGA Tour
Right.
Pros, the LPGA Pros.
Right.
But as you start growing yourself, growing in golf for the younger women, of course, it's courses we understand they're not fair to them. When you should be playing maybe 6,300 yards, and the average of the golf courses are a lot longer than that, are not set up maybe properly for those yardages. And when you come to think about it, is there the way that the holes are built is more for the longer hitters from the longer tees. So when you start setting it up for the shorter yards, then it's not as easy, or not as easy, not as less difficult that it should be for somebody that is hitting it from the longer yards, which is one of the things that I think is the issue here. Courses are not generally fair to women at all. Okay, when you do that fairness test, it's not it. And I think that's where golf courses are coming up short. I don't think it's about making them shorter, because you cannot. What are you going to do? I mean, all you can do is maybe have shorter tees from where you're going to start. But at the same time, it's really how the courses are being thought of when they are being made. Are they really made for those shorter tees to be played fair as it is for the longer tees? That's really where I see the problem. Not as much as how long they're playing it, but is it really fair for them to be playing from those shorter tees? Because the women have an incredible, especially at the LPGA tour. We have talked about this. We love the LPGA. All the top players play all the time, and they have game. These women have game. I mean, I enjoy watching every time that I watch the LPGA, because that's an incredible tournament. They have talent. They have the mindset. They want to win. They're competitors. I mean, the LPGA, the ladies of golf, have everything to it. Now, doing this, Fred, the question is, how are you really going to change a golf course that is already done to allow for this to be fair for the women?
Yeah, and to answer your question, or to answer your point, that's really the challenge for the designer, to set up a golf course that can handle championship play, excuse me, championship play from 7,000 to 7,400 yards. Also be a challenge for the single digit handicapper at about 6,800 yards, 6,900 yards. Also for the 10 to 15 to 20 handicapper at around 6,600 yards. So those are the challenges there. Then you've got to add on now the ladies' tees, or the red tees, or the forward tees as they call them now. It's not politically correct to say ladies' tees. And also, I like to see a junior tee up there that's only maybe 200 yards from the green. So that's the challenge for the designer, to make sure the water hazards, the penalty areas come into play at the right places, and the person that's playing from whatever tee, that they have a good second shot into the green or to the layup area. That's the challenge. And Carlos, the courses that these guys are playing, that's not really an issue. They can move these tees up another 20, 30 yards and not really have an issue. The bunkers would still be in play. The hazards would still be in play, all that kind of stuff. I actually would kind of like to see it. I don't know that I'm, my first thought is that, hey, everybody plays the same golf course. So what's the big deal? All right, well, then you say marketing. Well, maybe more people will watch it, but they made more birdies. Okay, well, maybe. We watched when they first came back last year after being off for COVID, they played at Inverness. And that was a tough golf course. That was a difficult golf course. There was only, what, 2 women under par. I found it extremely interesting. Now, I would, because I know the golf course, and so I was watching, and it was like watching a U.S. Women's Open because it was a tough golf course. Danielle Kang won. So I don't. Everybody plays the same golf course. That's fine. Maybe Beth Ann has an argument here. Maybe some of these people are right. I would like to see him do it, set it up for 6,300 yards for a couple of weeks and see what happens. See, maybe there would be, I mean, Envy shot 14 under par. She only had 1 round of 70. All the rest of her first 3 rounds were all under 70. So she's making birdies, right? 14 under par for 4 days. That's pretty good. So I don't know. Is it an issue? I don't know. Wouldn't mind seeing it set up for around 6,300 yards for a couple of weeks, see what happens.
I just think it would be too much. I mean, right now, why do you want to make it like the men's game? The women's game is different. That's what makes it interesting. It's not all about power and all this stuff. They have to do a more all-around game. If you want to make it all about power and reaching the greening too and being more easy to get there, it's really going to get boring right away. I don't see it being better just because I'm making more birdies. For that, I'll go watch the Korn Ferry Tour where they go 24 under and all that. That's not what it's all about. Why don't we have more people watching the Korn Ferry Tour? They make birdies like crazy there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's a good point.
It's not about that.
That's
so
a
it's
good
not
point.
about scoring lower. It's really the content on it. I just think the women need more marketing on it and better start more at the junior level, more commerciality on them. I mean, we have to promote them better to make people aware of their game. I think that's really what this is all about right now. It's not about shortening the game for them. They're pretty talented the way that they are. They have an exceptional product. I just don't think it's all about birdies. It's about maybe making people more aware of them.
Besides that, they're a lot better to look at than John Rahm.
No, definitely. There's no even competition there. But anyway, any final comments you want to make about this before we close it?
No, we love the LPGA. I don't think they really need to make their golf courses easier. They've got a great product. Just people need to. They're the most approachable athletes there are, and they've done a fantastic. Michael Wan, as we documented so many times, done a great job over the last 10 years improving their product, and I think they're on the right track. I don't know that shortening the course is going to make that much difference, but it'd be fun maybe to see it for a while.
Definitely. I mean, it's just let's make them aware. People are aware of it. LPGA, great showing. Thank you for watching.